Hello everyone. Now before we continue, I'd like to explain to you the two different types of third-party seller. Third-party seller, that's what you will be when you start selling on Amazon. So first of all, we have the seller who purchases stock and adds their stock to an existing listing on Amazon. And I like to call this kind of selling Me Too selling, because you find a listing and you say, yeah, I want to sell that same product on that same listing. And to demonstrate exactly what this means, let me show you a few examples. So first of all, we've got this foldable cell phone stand. Now, if we look down here, we can see it says new 4. And if we go ahead and click on this link, we can see here there are 4 different sellers on this listing. Now, only one seller can have what we call the buy box at any one time. Currently it's this seller here, Prepara. So basically what happens here is that when a shopper comes to this listing, decide to buy this product, they click add to cart, it is the seller who has the buy box who gets the sale. Now the buy box is dynamic, so there are 4 different sellers on this particular listing and they are competing against each other for a share of the buy box. Now this particular listing only has 4 sellers, but let's take a look at a couple more listings. This one here has 129, which is a lot of sellers to be competing for the buy box. Now that is at the top end of the scale. So 129 sellers on the same listing would be considered a lot, but it's not uncommon to see 30 or 40 or even 50 sellers on the same listing. But at the same time, we can also see listings with just a small handful of sellers. This one here has 7 sellers, and we can see that they're selling at a variety of prices. Now, there are certain things that determine which seller has the buy box at any given time. So it's not an equal share. So for example, there are 7 sellers on this listing. Let's say, just for the purposes of this video, that this is selling 50 units a day. So there's 50 units a day being sold of this particular product on Amazon. Now that's just a hypothetical figure, so I can demonstrate how this works. If there's 50 units a day being sold and there's 7 sellers, that doesn't mean that each 7 sellers is going to get an equal share of those 50 units every day. There are a number of factors that determine which seller wins the buy box at any time. Now, a key factor is price, but it's not the only factor. Now, a lot of people say no matter what, the lowest price is going to win the buy box. That is not always true. If we look back here at this listing, there are 4 sellers on this listing, and in fact, the seller that has the buy box right now does not have the lowest price. Now, if we add the shipping to this price here, $8.30 plus $4.60 shipping, we get $12.90. But the seller who has the buy box right now is selling for $12.99. So there are other factors coming into play here as well. And one of these factors is most definitely that this seller is using fulfillment by Amazon, which you're going to be learning about in this course. Other factors are things like account history, account health, and that sort of thing. Now let's take a look at the other kind of seller. This kind of seller is the product owner seller. The product owner seller does not add their inventory to an existing listing. Instead, they create their own listing, their own unique listing. As a result of that, they are not competing against other sellers for the buy box. If there is only one seller on a listing, there is nobody else to compete with. So if we look here, clicking on New One, we can see that the one seller on this listing is Limitless Equipment, and this product is their own product because we can see it's written on the product package. In this case, it's a tin. Now here's another one. Now this is a microfiber towel and it's by Rainleaf. Once again, we have just the one seller, and that seller is Rainleaf. They are not competing with any other sellers for the buy box. They have it all the time. All right, now in order to do this, to create your own unique listing, you need to have something unique. So this could be, for example, having a logo on the product. So getting a generic product, which I'm going to teach you how to do in this course, and having a logo put on that product. It could be something like having unique packaging, so a unique design on the packaging. It could be something as simple as having your own unique UPC code. A UPC code is simply a barcode. And again, you're going to learn all about this in the course. All right, now this course focuses on the product owner model. The model where you create your own listing on Amazon, which means that you are not competing against other sellers for the buy box. Now, as a brand new seller, you don't have any account history. There are many things that make it more difficult for a new seller to get the buy box. So once you have some history built up on Amazon, there is nothing wrong with that model, with the model that I call the Me Too model. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But here we're going to be focusing on creating your own listings so that you don't need to compete for the buy box. And in addition to that, your profit margins are generally higher with this type of selling. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson.